Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll.
I'm planning on taking this little pot of mums to my friend Tammy. And she noticed it last fall, and it's a little yellow daisy mum, and it is very pretty. And if you plant them in the spring, you have a much better chance of them coming back each fall because they get their root down and established well enough to be able to come back in most cases. It's April the 11th, and we do have a chance for some rain this evening and overnight, and I'm so anxious for it. I know my little plants are too. Of course, I've been keeping them watered off and on, so we'll just see what will happen. Look at this snowball bush. Already got so many snowballs on it. I planted a few more hostas. This one is called Orange Marmalade. I don't really think it has any orange in it, but it's supposed to at least have some like golden orange just in the veins or close to the veins. So far it's looking good. And this little rainbow hosta, I think it's called End of the Rainbow, but it's so pretty. It's looking so good. This one's not looking bad either, and you can tell now that I do have a plant coming up here in the back of, or in the middle, where it should be, of this little plant in the back row. So I'm a bit anxious to see them all grow and do well. Hopefully they'll do well. They're doing well right now. This is my new little risky business hosta, and it's looking pretty good too. I looked yesterday in several places in the city for a little girl cherub to put in this pot because that's what I've lost out of it. But I didn't see anything, and I just really had a bad day yesterday. I just didn't feel well through anything I tried to do until finally I gave it up, and my husband and I came home. That the day before, and my husband and I went and made some of the rounds that I usually go to, Janie's, Horse Creek. We didn't stop at Sunshine, but I'll want to do that at some point this spring. And let's see, where else did we go? I went to Sutherland's and to Atwood's. So we did get some. I was just going to look and get ready, but you know, if you see them, sometimes it's the best thing to go ahead and get them, because when you get ready, you may not be able to find them. So I found a bunch of little beauties here, and I hope I get these all planted before they get all beraggled and don't have a good chance to go forward. But of course I got some of the Dichandra, and I got some double petunias. I always love the double petunias. This is the mint green licorice plant, and I also got the blue cast licorice plant, and look at that pretty yellow petunia. I got some perennial dianthus, but I got this actually for my sister because I wanted to get her this when I went to see her the last time, and I just didn't have time. But I want her to have something that will come up early in the spring so she can get started, you know, with that garden excitement. And also look at this little darling. This is called a peppermint verbena, and I'm hoping it will look beautiful. My friend Glenda one time had this in a pot and nothing else, and it just filled it out and flowed over it, and it was just so stunningly beautiful. So, and I put mine in with everything else, which I may do that again, or I may put it in a pot by itself. I'll just have to wait and see what I have when I get it going. But it's, oh look, I'm seeing that the catmint is beginning to bloom its pretty little blue blooms, and I'll be glad when hers does that, so she gets to experience those pretty little blooms, as well as just the foliage is pretty too. So of course I'm anxious to get these put in pots, but I'm going to have to wait until I have a better day than yesterday. I just couldn't feel like doing anything yesterday. And I did get enough impatience to fill out my strawberry pots. So I'll want to get that done too. Soon I'll need to get the little bulbs that I saved over winter out and see if they made it, and plant them. But I was looking and I realized that I missed a couple of the cannas, and they overwintered, so they're doing good right here, right now, and I hope the others will do good too, but I definitely need to get those in the ground. And I had this little grouping of white iris, which just look like white angels in the garden. And my Hawaiian coral peony has bloomed. And I have a pretty little ground clematis that doesn't actually make a vine, but it's very pretty today. And several times through the season it will bloom. And then my bright pink salvias are beginning to have some bloom on them also, as does this other bright pink salvia have blooms on it. And we saw a hummingbird, the first hummingbird we saw this year. My husband saw it, but I did get to glimpse it before it flew away. And some of our heavy winds have made this one look a little bedraggled, but it's still pretty. And look at this one down at the bottom. It's just shining in its glory. And I noticed that some of the purple or blue, I often call this blue, but it's the salvia is beginning to bloom also. My little lace cap hydrangea is beginning to look good too. It'll take it a little longer to go ahead and put on some lace cap blooms for me, but I like it when it starts looking so bright and healthy, and you can tell that it's going good. The little yellow alyssum is beginning to show its bright yellow blooms too. Went a little too fast there, but let me come over here so you can see these. They're not very big yet. As a matter of fact, they didn't come back as well as they normally do. But I really like this little plant in the summertime. In the springtime, because it just there's not a lot of color going sometimes in the spring, and it will, and it does look great. It won't stay in bloom that long, though. It'll go ahead and go to just a little green plant, but then next spring it'll be back again. And I'm debating whether to put like succulents, like in this pot, in the one in this little one back here, because of course it's empty right now. I love to see the colorful impatiens and coleus in these, but I also love it when they just come back and they're ready to shine for the season. And the same for the other side. Like this one's already filled out and looking good, and this one I will plant something in it, and it may just be succulents again, because they're pretty, they're ready to go most of the time. Sometimes they don't fare just real well over the winter, but they do the best as I can find anything that will. And sometimes they just come back and look great, like they didn't miss a beat. So now we're in the bag, and I've told you that my clematis died on this one, so I put another little clematis here. I just put the root here, but look, you can already see that
it's beginning to come upward, and if it gets that rain, that will help it out still more, I believe. And this little clematis came back nicely, and it's doing well and looking good. When we were in the front just now, I told you that sometimes the succulents don't come back very well, but they usually do, but this one did not this year. We just had the driest winter that I remember us ever having, and I didn't come out and water them. Once I get that turned off and covered up, I don't like to go back out and do that again. But we've got a few little ones right in here, and as they grow, I will pinch off a piece and try to get them started back here again, because this was such a lovely little sedum bunch that grew out of this little pot. It was very pretty. And I almost lost this one winter too, but it's coming back just real well. I'm filling it back out again. Grateful that this little sedum came back pretty well too. I love this little purple cast with the blue green. And of course this one is the little thunder cloud that's always done well for me. Some pretty little columbine, and I had the winds to take this off, so I'm going to have to find some way to try to get it back up. And this one came back wonderfully, and this one not quite so much, but this little part of it did. And I've got some snapdragon seeds that came off of last year's in here. I don't know if that's what's coming up, but I hope it is. So I may leave that alone and give it a chance too. And I love this little Artemisia because of the color of it, and it's just pretty. But also sometimes it can jump out of the pot and start all over the ground. So that's depending on what you want. And I don't really want that all over. It's too invasive actually for me. And this little pot of sedum came back really well too. They usually do, but there are times, of course, when that doesn't happen. And I noticed when I was watering the last time that I had a big old rodent hole right here, and I was afraid it might have taken out my Heuchera or coral bells, but it looks like it's doing okay. I'm so glad, because I figured it took the root out and that would be the end of it. But I love this little coral bells here, because when it blooms it puts up a little stalk and then puts up the tiniest little red hearts on it, or red blooms on it. And they just look real pretty right up against these little cherubs. And I'm noticing that this one came back nicely too. And my Arkansas star flower is putting on its little blue stars. And I'm going to have to go over this way because these were not open the last time I looked at them, and I can tell they are opened up now, several of them. And I'm going to go around on the other side so I can get the best view for you of this little peony. I love the color on the smoke tree. It's pretty just dark like this, but when the sunlight shines on it, it's even prettier. It shines like a gem. And this little pot holds penstemon, and down below it is another one of the Arkansas starflowers, but this is more of a miniature one. And this one is the one my friend Susie gave me. It's also got its pretty little stars on it. And I just love this ferny looking foliage. It's so eye-catching in the garden. And while I'm saying eye-catching, my little rose is beginning to bloom.
I love the color of this rose. More of the bridal spirea is in bloom now. Columbine is popping up hither and yon in the garden. My little yellow mums that I had in here did not last through the winter, so that's probably not the thing to put in here. I was hoping I could keep them coming back and getting thicker and prettier, but really I think if they're not going to come back, I would probably be better off putting some kind of annual in here, like maybe even marigolds, because they look pretty in a blue pot. And I love just anything yellow in a blue pot. It just really makes it look good. And I am going with succulents in both of these little pots. And I noticed that some of my alyssum is coming up in this pot. And I assumed it probably would in this one too, but I don't see that happening. But I do have some alyssum seed that I will plant in this little pot and see if I can't have it in there with it. And I did notice that I have 2 buds on this pretty little Atoh, A-T-O-H peony. And they'll be a pretty violet color, and it's just a lovely little peony. And this is my Princess Diana clematis. And look how this little hosta is beginning to feel itself out, where I took some out for my sister Jetty, and I just imagine hers is beginning to fill that little pot out too. And they were pretty just the way they were, but when they get really full, I think they'll look even better. And this, of course, is the lipstick blonde hosta. Very pretty. This is my other strawberry pot that I did get the impatiens that I would like to put in it, so I just don't want to do it so soon that the snails and roly-polies end up getting them first and I have to do it again. But I also want to get them in there before they get all raggedy looking, so we'll see how that works. And this little pot is where I'm hoping to put my Dichandra, because it'll be able to trail down. This time I did get 2. I want one on either side of her if I can get that going. And I'm thinking I will put that orangey red or red orange looking mini petunia, Calabachoa, in this pot right in the front, and then a Dusty Miller and a coleus in the back of it. And this is one of my favorite irises. I just love how it's a beautiful blue, but it also has the little white lights to light it up. I thought my little peppermint colored peony was gone. It didn't come up as soon as the others, and I was just pretty sure it was gone, but it's already up, and it's got about 3 and 4 inches on it now, so that's great. And also over here on this side, my friend had got me one of the pretty blue hostas where this little tag is, and I could not find anything there at all. Plus I have at least two more, if not more, back here, and I can't find them. But the other day I got out here and just kind of pulled back all this stuff, all the debris and stuff from the tree, and I found one of them, this one that my friend gave me, and it's already up at least an inch tall, so that's great. I just noticed that one of my little purple oxalis is coming back. That's great. I wish they would spread and I could have many of them here, but I don't know. They don't seem to be. Actually, I'm surprised that I have one that came back, but it's a good surprise. And a pretty iris bloom. We need to get these thin, so hopefully more of them will bloom. And I'm pretty sure this is a Hawaiian coral too, but it's already kind of spent, definitely spent and this little bloom here has. But this one has actually turned almost yellow, a pale yellow, and it looks very pretty. And I'm not sure what variety this clematis or clematis is, but I think it may be the President. I hope so, because I think I lost the one over on my west fence row. And it's so pretty, even though it doesn't bloom as long or as often, but it'll bloom in the spring and then a real more, not as much, but a small bit of bloom in the fall. And then this one, I'm not sure, I can't remember the name of it either, but it's a beautiful blue. And this is another little clematis that's blooming. Hasn't fully opened its bloom yet, but it will, I'm pretty sure. And another thing, this little row here, my peonies came back right up until you see that little green pot right there, and all the ones on the other end did not come back. So my plan for now is to, when fall comes, to go ahead and dig up some of my ones that I have just out scattered in the garden and put a piece of them over here. This little fence row is just notorious for having moles or voles or some kind of rodent just run right down it and eat everything out of it. So now that I know that, I'm going to try not to put, if I only have one of the peony, I try not to put it here. But I still want them to make it, even if I do know I do have another somewhere in the garden. But it's going to look all bare down there. And even the daylilies that are so strong and stout and hardy and good, they even ate them. But there is a little bitty bits of them coming back, so they didn't eat the whole root. So these could possibly just come on back strong as ever, the ones that are down here. So maybe all I'll really have to replace is the peonies. And I have learned that that's better to do that in the fall, so I'll probably wait to do that simply because I have so much else to do anyway. It'll just be easier to do, hopefully. But that you can plant them in the spring. As a matter of fact, I think most of mine were planted in the spring, and they just, you know, look great. It may take them a little bit longer though. So now that I know that their favorite time to be planted is in the fall, I'll probably wait till the fall to plant any of them. And I was hoping that this little golden carrier bush would just be full and beautiful, and it's really still looking pretty scraggly, but it's alive, and that's the best part, because usually the plants that live will eventually thrive and be beautiful, and this one has been in the past, so I'm hoping to see that again. And my little pink Wildula bush is beginning to bloom. It blooms fairly early, and I usually have this little pot empty, but now it's got a succulent in it which comes right back most usually, and it did this year. So it won't be just an empty pot, and it'll look good when it gets in full bloom. You know, it won't just have that scraggly old empty pot there. I like it much better when there's something in a pot. And this is the lace vine on the pretty yellow colored foliage. And I thought it would start all over from the bottom and have to work its way all the way up to the top. But it actually came back when it started greening up. It greened up at the bottom and in the middle and at the top. So it looks like it's ready to go again.
Looks great. There are several pots that I'll want to, even some of the sedum pots. This one is one. These look pretty good. This one looks great. And I took some out of this and gave to my sister. I'll get that out of there. But it looks so good, and I love this color. So everything here looks good except for this one little pot, and I'll fill it out when I get some time. And I will definitely take this cocoa liner completely out of here and redo this little pot. Lilac bush didn't bloom very well. It started to try, and then we got those two cold spells, pretty much one right after the other. There was some pretty days in between, but it just nipped them in the bud, and they're not there any longer. But look, this one is just one lone little lilac bloom. It's looking good still. And it won't be long till this little peony is in bloom. They're like cracking open there, and this is supposedly the biggest peony that you can purchase, and so I'm anxious to see it. It has been being big and beautiful when it blooms. While I was over here showing you this little peony, I neglected to show you this. I just love the beautiful clematis. All of them are pretty to me. And I'm also happy that my little hardy geranium came back. I think this one is the one that's pink, the bloom. More pretty clematis. I think this one is called Josephine. And this one is called Crystal Fountain. And I do like having the succulents in the pots, and they just come back, and you don't have to worry about doing all the pots, and then they don't usually last in these smaller pots anyway, whereas the succulents do and look great. I'm pretty sure that at least one of the peonies I had in back that the rodents got was one of these little white one with the yellow in the center. So when this one gets big enough, and I don't know for sure that it is right now, I'll take a better look at it, but I don't want to take one up that maybe cause it to die as well as the other one. So hopefully when it gets big enough, I will put a piece of it back there though. And some of these that are big enough, those are the ones that I'll try to get a little piece of to put in the back there, and hopefully they'll go again if we don't have a rodent problem, which that one, like I said, is so susceptible to having rodents. It's not the first time that's happened. And this little yellow star succulent that I got, I'm amazed at how well it came back. It filled up this pot and just kept right on going. That's great. And I've forgotten the name of this iris, but I always think of it as a chocolate sundae iris, because you've got your vanilla ice cream with your hot chocolate just, right around the edges and dripping down from the top. And this little hosta is looking good. It had actually had two stems there, so I dug the one up and put it in the front in one of my pots where it didn't come back, and it's looking good too. It looks actually bigger and better than this one, but hopefully this one will do well right here too. It had done well, so I'm hoping it'll just keep that up. And then, of course, this little one is doing well here too, and I hope it'll fill this pot up one day and look great too. I was so hoping to just enjoy yesterday so much going into the city, and I had plans to go to Lowe's and Hobby Lobby, and I need another little girl chair for my front. I couldn't find that. I also was going to look for maybe another hens and chick, and I didn't see any of those, and I was just so tired for some reason. I just did not feel well, and I couldn't make myself feel well, even though I tried, because I wanted to enjoy that day. But like I said, it's okay, because I certainly enjoyed the day before, and I hadn't really even planned on doing that, but I just, got that feeling of let's go look around and just see what they have out. And I did get a couple of pots. I'm planning on taking out all of these cocoa liner things and putting a regular pot in them, like I've done this one right here. There's another little rose. These, although they are the old roses, so I had a different color rose put here, and actually this may be it. I hope this is it. I want my different colored roses to be the ones that really make it, because I've got plenty of the old roses over on the other fence. But spring is new and the garden is new, and I'm anxious to see what it will do, and it's so obviously coming out and trying to do its best, and that always makes me feel good. And I've got plants to plant, and I usually really do enjoy that part of gardening, and I'm so glad I got the old debris out. That's the hardest part for me. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing that, to tell you the truth, but we will see, because I will do it as long as I can. Jet, look at this. My sister Jetty, look at this. This is what yours will look like in those pots when they start blooming, these pretty little blue blooms. I think you're going to just love it. And of course it's the catmint, or the nepeta. My friend Susie, we did stop at her house, and it was pleasant to get to be there, but she had twice as many of her amaryllis that bloomed, and they looked so good. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.